and not somebody else dictating to you how to do your thing, which you know how to do better than anybody else.
YouTube friends, it's Keith here, Margaret's husband. Just thought I'd do a video of the garden now it's summer. Excuse the noise because it's a bit breezy outside. Okay.
dedicated to some of my favorite plants. They are almost perfect. I can grow them outdoors all year round, which is a plus. They are low maintenance, and on top of everything, they are reliable bloomers with gorgeous flowers, which are often very fragrant. I made a compilation of their blooming season, which started late April and still is not all done yet. I'm referring to epiphytic cacti hybrids. They are often called epiphyllum or epis. They are cultivated plants resulting from the crossbreeding of various cacti species. These hybrids are renowned for their vibrant, large, and showy flowers, hence the popular name of orchid cactus. While the name epiphyllum is often used, it is important to know that this is a nickname, and the involvement of species of the epiphyllum genus in their parentage is not always true. There are many different epis of different flower sizes and colors. I only have a few colors, but I'm happy with what I have. I bought a couple of them several years ago, and 3 of them were a gift from my friend Josefina. She has a channel which is all about cacti and other succulents, and she has a wonderful collection. I will leave the link to Josefina's channel, and if you decide to take a look at it, I promise you will not be disappointed. I have to say this is a Portuguese-speaking channel. Getting back to our epis, they are very easy to propagate. All you need is one stem, which you can cut into 2 or more pieces, and then put those pieces in dirt till they root. The rooting process will take about a couple of weeks, after which new stems start sprouting from the base. They grow quite fast after that. And I have to point out, in case you don't know, these are stems. They look like leaves, but they aren't. They are stems, although epis do not have spines most of the time. On a side note, epiphytic cactus stems are typically flattened, leaf-like, and they often lack the spines found on desert cacti. They are in fact modified branches. They are called cladodes, and are adapted for photosynthesis, water storage, and reproduction. Unlike the cacti that live in arid desert conditions, these are native to high altitudes in South and Central America, in rainforests, so where they get a lot of rain all year round. But also they grow in cool temperatures. Another thing, unlike the desert cacti, these are epiphytic plants, because the species that originated these hybrids grow on other plants, just like most orchids. That is, they are not parasites. They only use the trees to anchor their roots on the branches, very often in the crotches of tree branches, where organic matter tends to collect and decompose, giving the roots opportunity to absorb the water from the rain and the dissolved nutrients. These epis are supposed to grow better in semi-shading temperatures that go from 16 to 27 Celsius, according to specialists. But from my experience and that of other growers I know, they thrive well in lower and higher temperatures than recommended. In my case, my winters have been warmer lately, not going lower than 9 Celsius, but in previous years we've had frequently 4 Celsius.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we'll do a quick walkthrough of what's going on in the orchid collection, as I do have a few more plants that are open now. Of course, this one I believe was actually in the last video, but super, super pretty. The scent on this is like fresh lemons. It's so good. But I also have this little cutie that is now open too, and this is a Neostylus Let's see here. It says Vanda peaches, but I do believe this is like the Neophonetia category due to the size of the plant itself, and then of course the flower. But super, super cute little thing here. No fragrance, but that's okay. And then back here, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get to it from this side. You can kind of see it there. There is a Cattleya blooming, and that one I believe is, there it is. There's the tag. I don't know if you can still read that or not. Oh my goodness, there we go. But let me see if I can kind of sort of bend it around without, yeah, it's just a cute little thing. My other one back here, I have a Vanda. It's Vanda Lizonica times crossed with, I guess you should say, that one has a spike going towards the screen. You can see there. So I have to kind of keep an eye on that to make sure that nothing crazy and wild happens with it. The one that I got for my wife for Father's Day is now finally done, so I can cut this spike off. And now I gotta also treat it because I think I might have something, which that's something you do deal with when it comes to Home Depot plants. My Pleon Pit Blue is in full bloom and smells weird. But the one next to it here, and this one is, let me see if I can get to the tag. There's a mess of roots back here. This is Lemlata times Diokinsal or something like that. This one is in full bloom. I got this at Palmer's back in January, and it has a beautiful soft fragrance. Smells like candy. Absolutely love this one. Absolutely one of my top Lamellata crosses that I have. So very excited to see this one in bloom again. Hopefully continue to do so throughout the summer. And then this big old gal, this is Truly Red, has started to open. So her flowers are on display. It's more pink than what my camera is pulling it up as. It's, I guess because it's in the shade, it's not really reading the color properly. But, and then over here, I do have a spike on one of my kikis. This one is, let's see if I can get in there and you can see the tag. Kind of, maybe. There's some roots in the way. There we go. And then Tricolor is still in bloom. Rinka is fully open. Love this one. The scent on both of these is absolutely just beautiful. This is one I got from my friend Jason. He stopped by over the weekend and brought me a few plants because he's awesome like that. This is Kyra Green, and it's a Mimi Palmer cross, I believe. This spike is done, but this one is still going and definitely takes after the Mimi Palmer fragrance there. So a beautiful little flower. It's not super big, which I'm happy with. I don't like the big ones anymore. He also brought me this one. This is, well, the tag's in there. There we go. It's a big flower, and it's pink and it's pretty, and my wife likes it, so that's all that matters. I am experimenting. I'm putting my dendrobiums out here, and then eventually I'm going to move them out to see if giving them more light is what's going to trigger them to be happy, because right now they're sulking like they always do. Over here, my quality fragrance times Mimi Palmer. The spike definitely is growing. So this one looks some reddish orange spots, 2 spikes on that guy. And then I thought I had a tag on this one, but I cannot find the tag to save my life. But this one does have a spike coming on it, and this one is really pretty. I can't wait for you guys to see that one in bloom. And then finally, I'm able to show you my Trichoglotis philippinensis. She is in bloom and smells absolutely amazing. Fills this entire end of my lanai with fragrance. So I do have more buds coming. You can see there's 2 more, one there, and then one here, and then I've got some more buds coming up along the plant there, along the stalk. They will just bloom and bloom and bloom. And then the other Trichoglotis brachiata also has some bud spikes forming on the sides of it too. So lots happening with these little guys, and I'm very excited to see this one bloom as well. It's very similar to this one, but also very different. So, and then Vanda Marii, or however that's pronounced, I moved her down here hoping that by giving it more sun, maybe she'll start popping out some more roots. She's not doing so well, but she's in bloom again. So we'll see how that goes. But other than that, that is what's going on. Of course, I got big purple here still in bloom, facing the opposite direction, go figure. But now it's just kind of a waiting game. We've got lots and lots of root growth, which of course excites me because that means the plants are doing well. A healthy plant grows healthy roots. So we've got progress, and I love progress. So I will take the root growth and enjoy whatever else comes my way with these gals and girls and guys and boys and whatever the heck these plants are. I always am like, oh, she's beautiful, or he's gorgeous plant. You know, I always, just how I talk with my plants, I guess. Yes, I talk with my plants. But anyhow, that is what is going on right now in the collection. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will, of course, post more videos as more updates come. Happy growing, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Okay, our guest speaker tonight is Tokunaga, one of the world's great orchid.
Wow, big society. I thought it had shrunk since COVID. Take my step plants. Okay. Other giveaways is an epidendrum that looks like this. It likes to have roots almost like a basket coming out. So it can grow very airy. I'm going to repot one plant so you can come up and take a look at it later. I have a mutant Dromatophyllum. Normally it's a big plant. And Bernie Kagawian started it. And he had these plants that were blooming pretty small. The problem is the plant always looks terrible. It puts all of its energy in flowering continuously, non-stop. But the plant looks terrible. And many times it doesn't throw any roots. So I've been trying to figure out how to get this plant to at least form normal roots. This is what it should look like. So it's in a basket with almost nothing. And the roots, it comes out like a basket. Okay, so.
My summers are not warm, but still they dry out fast due to the wind. The flowers grow from these stems, and these epis did not complain. I watered them once a month during winter because of the lower temperatures, and about once a week during summer. My summers are not warm, but still they dry out fast due to the wind. The flowers grow from these stems, and they don't usually last long, from 3 to 5 days, depending on how warm temperature is. Not all buds bloom at the same time in my collection, and so the blooming period of one single epi can last from 2 to 4 weeks.
Hello everybody, today I want to show you one of my orchids that I had it for a few years. It hasn't been blooming for the last 2 years, but this year it has a lot of bloom and very nice display. So I wanted to share that orchid with you. If you're interested, please keep on watching. This is my Paph benaris, which is a primary cross between Paph philippinensis and Paph Leafii, which are two species, and it's a multiflora. As you can see, there is 3 on each spike, 3 blooms. Multiflora Paph. I really like this one, and I've had it for years, maybe more than 8 years, and beautiful blooms. As you can see, long petals, pink long petals. The color is from Labier, and the long petal are from Philippinensis. So it's got best of both worlds. As you can see, I love this Paph, and it's been grown in bark, and just been sitting in my south-facing window, on my window, in my bedroom windowsill. And as I said, this year started to bloom again with two beautiful spikes. It didn't bloom last year and the year before because of the growth. As you can see, I haven't been like dividing it or anything, and it's just been growing the new fans. And honestly, I'm afraid of touching that. I've done only once repotted this Paph into from the original bark that it came with after a year, I think, into kiwi bark, you know, the New Zealand bark. But the bark is still good after maybe more than 5 years. It's still good, it's still hard. So I'm not gonna touch it until, you know, I see a sign of going bad or anything. But just for now, concentrate on the beautiful blooms. So this is very easy to grow, this Paph. As I said, I just water it once a week, and it sits in my windowsill, south-facing windowsill, and not that much fertilizer or anything. I put some eggshells here maybe like a few months ago, but before that it just gets the water that I water my rest of my orchids with it, so I don't do anything special for it. Once it grows a new fan like this one and matures, and that one the next year is gonna bloom. So I'm expecting this one to bloom next year. And once every fan is blooming, then that fan doesn't bloom again. So it just sits there. Sometimes they die naturally, and I just cut some of the leaves. But once there is a mature fan like these two, they can bloom for you and produce beautiful blooms like these. So really enjoying these blooms, and it's kind of difficult to film because of the shape. This one is just started, the last one just started to open up. And the funny thing is that these long petals, they grow after being open, and the bloom gets bigger a little bit. But for now, I just wanted to share these beautiful blooms with you, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more updates like this one. And yeah, I'll talk to you later. Bye for now.
Hi everyone, so this video is going to be my end of June updates, and I'm going to start with Brassavola cuculata, and it bloomed for me and I didn't even notice. So just one flower this time, but here you go. Yeah, it was a surprise when I saw it. And this is my Paraphalaenopsis labicensis crossed with Seidan Fadenia nitrata, and it's been repotted. It's repotted in the same pot because if I removed the charcoal, I think it would have broken off some roots. So I just decided to leave it, and I've used moss instead of rock wool, and it's pushing out a bunch of new root tips. So I think this guy's in good shape. And this is my Oceoclades monophylla, and I believe that is a flower spike. The leaf that it pushed out is not very big, but I think that's okay. So in my last video, I mentioned on my Cattleya domaniana, there was a piece that was growing sideways and kind of downwards that was bothering me. So I did end up cutting it off and I put it here. I also think that piece had an issue with spider mites, so this has been sprayed. I was thinking about whether I wanted to actually keep this or throw it out, but the new growth is actually growing again, and I think there is a new root tip coming out as well. So in time, I'll probably give this one away. And this is my Bulbophyllum sanguineo punctatum, and I decided to remove it from the mount and pot it up. So the top part is the same rock wool stuff that was on the mount with all the moss, and then there's a layer of Orchiada and a layer of leca, and I have the pot sitting in some water just so it stays moist for longer. And it looks like this latest bulb is a lot bigger, and I think it's because that it's able to stay moist for longer. So I think that's a good sign. Brutonia has been pushing out new growths. This is the latest one, and it looks pretty good. It's a little dry. I need to water this weekend, but yeah. And this is my Dendrobium formosum. I feel like it should be doing better at this point. There was a time where, even though it had a lot of roots, it felt a bit wobbly, but right now it seems a bit more stable, which is good. I still keep this bag over the plant to keep the humidity in, and I think that definitely helps. It's going to be at least another year till I get like a nice, like proper growth. And this is my Cattleya Itsy Bitsy Diamond Orchids, and you can probably tell it's not looking good at all. For whatever reason, that green root, it never continued growing, so the plant is very dehydrated, but there is a new eye on it, so there's potential for this to recover, and I hope it does because I did pay money for this one. So I think the plan today is to give it a soak in a solution with the seaweed extract, and hopefully that will help. But for now, I just have it, I've unpotted it, I put it in here with a bag on top to keep the humidity in. And this is Cloecia amazonica, and I have officially started watering it, so it's in full growth mode, so that's great. And this is a Cattleya seedling from one of our culture classes, and it's pushing out a new growth. I think I'm gonna move it and put it in a cup just so it has more humidity around the root area. This is my Mormodes rosea. I moved it here, it's in spike, and it has 5 buds on it. And this is my, I think it's Taiwan Firecracker era. I've repotted it in Orchiada bark. The pot is slightly bigger. I didn't want a too big pot, so it's still hanging out of the pot, but I'm hoping the Orchiada will be better than just the plain lava rock, which I had before. It's still in the lava rock, I didn't remove it, but just extra media around that. And this is my Bulbophyllum Princess Bajaratana, and it has a new growth. I did lift it slightly just so it wouldn't bump into the other plants here. And this is my Paraphalaenopsis Lecockii, and I think it's officially gone. I did try, but did not make it. That's okay. It seems like this plant is no longer really that rare, so I think I could get another one relatively easily, so I might just do that. This is Catasetum gladiatorium crossed with barbatum, and it's almost ready to be watered. At least this growth is. This one isn't, but once this one is ready, I will just water it. This is Catasetum spitzii red, and it's starting to grow its new growth. Not quite ready to be watered yet. It's behind the Guarechea barbatum. And I just noticed today my catasetum discolor has pushed out a new growth, which is really good. I also noticed that it has pushed out some new root tips, which I wasn't really expecting. I did fill up the water a little bit, just so I was worried there wasn't enough humidity, but it looks like the roots are kind of growing in the water, which is fine. I'm not really watering this at all, so I think that is good for this plant. So that's very exciting. And this is my Staurochilus erinaceus. I think this growth point is done. It is pushing out a keiki on the side here, and also here as well, so that's good. And this is my Masdevallia amplexa. I've repotted it into moss and orchietta. I actually split it into two parts, but the other part didn't survive because I don't know if I showed in the last video, but this plant was looking not very good, so that's why I decided to repot it. Seems a little bit better now, but obviously it's going to take a bit of time to recover, but so far so good. It's a little crispy, so I need to water it. This is my Kefferstinia mystacina, and it's pushing out a new growth there. It did actually also bloom for me, which is really good. The flower was a bit wonky, so I didn't take a video of it, but I'll just post a photo somewhere here so you can see what it looks like. Super cool. I think it lasted about a couple weeks, I think. I don't really remember, but it wasn't super short, so that was nice to have. And this is my Dendrobium lowii. It has a lot of growth, which is great. And I noticed there's something growing at the top as well. I don't believe it's a flower spike. This plant is way too small, but there's more growth growing there, so I think that's a good sign. And this is my Staurochilus fasciatus, and the roots haven't grown since last time. I have brought it into my shower a few times. I did forget this week, just to help keep this like watered, I guess. It's hard to water it because the roots are only here. And I also moved the humidifier here as well, just to help get the roots going, but it's not really doing much of anything, so a little concerned that this might not do well. But also possibly it will just suddenly have a growth spurt when the weather gets a lot warmer. And this is my Dendrobium moschatum pink, and this new growth is doing pretty well. I think I might fill this with water, just so, kind of like semi-hydro, where there's like a reservoir, so it's always kind of moist. It's only in lava rock, so I don't want to have an issue with watering this plant, so I think that will help with it. And last but not least, this is my Vanda roblegiana, and it bloomed except for this one. That's okay. These leaves look really awful though. I have sprayed it with a fungicide twice already. I probably should cut them off, but it's quite difficult. I don't really want to cut off the crown. I'm just kind of waiting. Especially this one is quite difficult to cut. The good news is this keiki at the bottom is very clean, so that's a good sign. Alrighty, so that's my video for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!
Hi, good morning TikTok. This is Marisa, and this is my orchid life, and I thought we could look at some blooms and start in the Vanda forest. I've got quite a few happenings here. Look at this gorgeous beauty, and she smells delish. She is, I don't know if you can see this, but that's what she is. And then I've got this beauty that I went ahead and put her in this pot, and she's getting ready to bloom. Lots of spikes everywhere. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Now this didn't turn out so well, but she's blooming. I'm not sure if these are thrips or if it's the weather. The rain tends to kind of, you know, ruin the flowers a little bit. But then again, you know what? In real life, they don't look like that. So I think it's thrips. And let me tell you, this year, they've been way too much. Look at that. Lots of spikes everywhere. This one's on her way out. But she's so pretty. She was pretty. And she's got another one coming right there. Isn't that crazy? So, doing really good. Oh, I just bought this one. Hey, Marcy! Look how gorgeous this is. Like I said, there is lots of spikes going on. Okay. Oh, we have a spike here. Oh yeah, check this out. Look at all the babies here. Oh my God, she is full. And this one I purchased on the discount rack over at Benjung, and look, she just bloomed. She's a type of Mimi Palmer, and she's an indigo. Look how beautiful she is, and she smells incredible. Oh my God, so pretty. Okay, let's see what else we got going here. Lots of growth. Oh yeah. And I just got this one too, and she is opening up beautifully. So I'm not very good with these type of orchids, but she's a Zygopetalum, Debbie DeMelle's Honolulu baby. These love to be grown in sphagnum moss. I am not good with sphagnum moss, but I've been teaching myself, and so far I've been doing okay. But look how gorgeous she is. I couldn't resist her. Look at her. Look at all the buds she's got. So I had to get her because she's absolutely beautiful, and she has an incredible scent. And my beautiful, Sherry baby, she's got 4 spikes growing. So she's going to be pretty spectacular. Okay, guys, let's go. Not much more here. So let's go into my pool cage. Let's go check out what's going on in there. Look at all this. Roots everywhere. Look at this gorgeous beauty. She is actually on her way out, but look how beautiful she still looks. And I managed to be able to take out the tag. So she is a Vanda bronze butterfly crossed with Thai spot. Vanda Thai spot. Look how gorgeous she is.
Hello everybody, I'm Brian from Orchids by Brian, and welcome to my June 2025 orchid collection update. I have several gorgeous blooms to highlight today, so let's jump in. Alright, right over here, this little guy is my Chinorchis fragrans, a wonderful miniature orchid. It has these fragrant little purple flowers on these bumpy Vanda-like leaves. If you don't have the space for a true Vanda, this is a great one to grow in your collection. It's probably about the size of my thumb, and it'll keep growing and eventually bloom multiple spikes. So really cool Chinorchis fragrans. Okay, this is SLC Deborah off Linwood. HCCAOS. This is from Waldor Orchids. It has one flower. One flower is unfortunately on the way out, but I'll highlight those blooms in full bloom. This is one of my most favorite orchids in my collection. It's compact growing, and I love the red lip on an orange flower. So unique. What a wonderful, wonderful compact orchid. Over here, this is my Momilani Rainbow that you can see is in spike, so stay tuned for that guy. But lots of new growth. This is, of course, orchid growing season, so there's a couple things in bloom, but most things are growing up nice and big and strong for the fall and winter, when it'll eventually bloom out. This is perhaps my favorite orchid of this month. This is the LC Moonlight Dream Carlos, plant from my buddy Ruben at Sunset Valley Orchids. So if you're looking for an orchid like this, Ruben is the guy to go and check out. But check out that cerulean flower, beautiful purple flares on each petal, stunning orchid, one of my favorites, and again, super, super compact, blooms multiple times a year. So, great orchid if you're looking for something that blooms a lot. All right, now this guy, this is one of my most fragrant orchids in my collection. This is another Sunset Valley orchid hybrid. This guy is the Patanara Rubescent Doll by SLC Angels Fantasy Solar Flare. Beautiful flowers. This guy blooms probably once for me, usually like maybe two flowering spikes in a season, so it can last for a while, but vibrant, almost highlighter purple flowers. Really spectacular blooms. Now back here, this is my Maikai. Brassicatlia Maikai has 5 flowers on one spike for me, and it's sending up even more spikes. This thing blooms a ton all throughout the year. Really easy grower, and the flowers, of course, you know, purple speckles. Come on, you can't beat it. Really, really nice. All right, so continuing over here, I just wanted to highlight a couple of things coming for next month. In the back there, you can see this is a BLC Laura Bush Dark Lip from Chadwick Orchids, and it is one of their First Lady Cattleya orchids, of which they're known for. Now, down here, there is a couple of things that were in bloom in June. One of them being this guy right here, still in bloom. This is my Sophronitis Arizona. Gorgeous, dark red Sophronitis flowers. Definitely looks like Sophronitis coccinea. Of course, has it in the background, but the flower is very reminiscent of Sophronitis coccinea. So, really, really nice plant. In love with this orchid. First time bloomer. Cool growing grow tent. The cool growing grow tent is popping off with blooms this time of year, especially Masdevallias and Dendrobiums and Lepanthes as always. So we have some special plants to take a peek at. All right, so over here we have my Pleurothallus Dorthiae, still in bloom for me. Highlighted this guy last month. It has those globular flowers, and I love this plant. I love how it grows, the type of leaves it has on the stick. Very compact grower, wonderful orchid. Really, really pleased with that guy. Down here, I have a spike coming on my Masdevallia decumana. Really, really nice plant. You can see there, decumana from Peru. I've had some issues with it growing in a pot, so I decided to mount it. It seems to be growing much better. All right, back here, this is what I'm particularly excited about. I decided to get a little creative, and I made an orchid tree out of this eucalyptus root and mounted some Dendrobium cuthbersoni hybrids. So check it out. This is definitely one of my most favorite creations, probably what I'm most excited about this month. Mounted some moss on there, and the plants are acclimating wonderfully. But isn't that awesome? I love it. This just shows you that there are so many different ways you can grow orchids in the home. And I'm going to try to do more of these little displays in the future. And I might even just do a video to show you how I do it and how I design it, if folks are interested. So stay tuned, let me know if you like it, and I'll see what I can do. Alrighty. Now, right here, this is my Masdevallia siphonantha, still in sophronitis mode from the Cattleya grow tent. Tons and tons of flowers on this guy. I probably have 5 or 6 blooms coming on this orchid right now. So far, I see 2 open right now, third one just about to pop open, but one of my most prized possessions when it comes to my orchid collection is Masdevallia siphonantha. Beautiful, beautiful flowers. Right here, this is one I'm pretty excited about too. This is where I have sort of my saltatrix type Masdevallias that have those tubular flowers. This is Masdevallia ventricularia, it has a spike coming. And then Masdevallia fuchesi, Aquagenera, has some spikes on the way. That should be open in July, knock on wood. We have some blooms. All right, now right over here we have Lapanthes larvina. Wonderful, wonderful Lapanthes. I'm really excited. This guy's finally giving me some new growths, but the flowers on Lapanthes larvina, absolutely spectacular. I love the colors on these guys. Super, super pretty. And then this guy right here is blooming like crazy. This is a beautiful Masdevallia ventricosa. And it's known for these almost see-through little yellow clear flowers on a super full plant. Man, this thing grows like a weed. And now this, I'm going to show you this guy here. This is Pleurophthalus dodsonii. Check out those blooms. Can you see it there? They are a little bit difficult to spot because they come out of the base of the bloom. They almost look like little crab or lobster claws, but wonderful flower. And look at the underside. Speckled leaves. Very cool plant. All right. That is pretty much it. That's blooming in the grow tent this month. Down here, I just wanted to highlight how well my neotropical blueberry Spirosperma buxifolium is doing. Look at all those flowers. That is crazy. This guy likes to be wet. Very, very wet. And it will bloom like a weed. So, really, really nice. All right, well, that's going to conclude my tour of my orchid collection update. Hope you all enjoyed. I'll have some more great content coming soon, so stay tuned. All right, thank you all for watching. I'm Brian from Orchids by Brian, and I'll see you in the next video.
Hello everyone. Back in April, we celebrated being on YouTube for 5 years. And by coincidence, it also marks 10 years since we got our first orchid. So we wanted to make a video to mark the occasion in some way. We decided to talk a little about our journey growing orchids and other plants. Because of the channel, a lot of you were there for that journey in the last few years, but we still wanted to celebrate with a bit of a recap. Also, please bear with us because we don't have a lot of footage from those early days, so this is a little more podcast style. We also asked you for some questions that relate to this subject, so we'll be using them to tell this very unremarkable story.
Our first question came from Wanda Shaw, who always leaves the nicest comments and pretty much got the ball rolling on the theme
about our backgrounds. Jay grew up mostly in apartments and has always loved cacti and succulents since he was little. He had a few as a kid, and when we first started living together, we got him a few, and later they became quite the collection as well. As for me, I grew up with a huge garden and no gardener. So as you can imagine, as a young adult, I wanted nothing to do with plants. Even though one of my favorite things as a kid was running a plant hospital where I would quote-unquote rescue every cutting and offshoot and nurse them back to health, all the garden chores as a teenager left me pretty tired of anything green for a while. But I still found orchids, or in this case Phalaenopsis, really beautiful, with their arching spikes of huge butterfly-shaped blooms.
And this was around 2010, so there wasn't a sad orchid section in the corner of every store. You would see some Phalaenopsis on the counter of fancy places and sometimes in stores like IKEA, but only the big white and pink ones. By 2015, she had talked about wanting one for a while. We were at the supermarket and they were having a garden supply event for spring. So there was a huge tray of Phalaenopsis and I told her to pick one as a gift.
They were, like always, the big white or pink ones, but I saw one tucked in the middle that was white like I wanted, but with smaller blooms with light speckling. For some reason I thought it looked more special, so we picked that one. Now that we grow a lot of Phalaenopsis, I know it's probably a hybrid with a lot of Phalaenopsis stewartiana in it. And we still have that orchid to this day, and still love it. We started calling it Stewie when we figured out the stewartiana thing.
We found a garden center that had just opened a dedicated orchidarium and had proper orchid supplies. There we bought our mini mark and our first non-fel orchid. I think it was an Oncidium Twinkle. New names I had just discovered through YouTube. At this garden center, there were also these monthly meetings and workshops run by a local orchid society. So we started going to those as well.
YouTube also presented us with a world of online hauls, so we made our first order from Schwarter. They seemed magical to me at the time that you can just order botanical species online and grow them in your living room. From that order, we still have the Phalaenopsis Many Black and what was our first time trying a seedling, the Phalaenopsis Bashi Canary. It took 5 years to bloom, not the 2 it said on the website, and instead of the pretty speckled flower they advertised, they were just plain white. To answer this final question, what have we learned over these 10 years? Like I just mentioned, I learned to keep things fun. We grow these plants for our entertainment, and as much as we feel responsible for them, sometimes it's just good to step back. If you can't bring yourself to water them today, there's always tomorrow. I also learned the value of understanding the science of things. I've always been that kid that always annoys the teachers with the why questions, and I think Jay is the same. I've seen a lot of people wanting a cheat sheet for this. Use this magic powder, water twice a week, and then poof, flowers. And I find that it's much easier if you understand why they should be watered like this, why this substrate instead of that one, how the roots work, etc. Not only easier, but it makes it much more enjoyable.
One important thing I learned was understanding that investigating and reading guides from successful orchid growers will minimize loss, but not avoid it altogether. For our plants to thrive, which ultimately is what we want, We need to understand our growth space, our conditions, and our limitations. It's always painful to lose an orchid, but as long as we learn something, it was ultimately worth it. By understanding what went wrong, we can decide if we should give it another chance, or if that plant just isn't for us.
Another thing I learned pretty fast is that even though when we start we think of orchid flowers, probably because when we start we are mostly aware of Phalaenopsis and their humongous flowers, but the best way to enjoy them is as plants, and the flowers are just a bonus. I found myself very early on getting excited about a new leaf, a new growth, a new root, and now I have a lot of them that I got just because I found the foliage interesting or pretty, and I don't even care that much if they flower. I hope you enjoyed this trip down memory lane. We focused a lot more on the orchid growing part than having this channel, but we want to thank each and every one of you that enjoys our videos and leave us nice comments. Between talking to our viewers and watching other orchid channels, it does give us a nice sense of community in the hobby, and for that we appreciate you all so much.
So complicated
hard, yes.
To make a good temperature in the green.
And your name is?
I am Colombe Le Couffle. I'm the 5th generation of the family.
Okay.
Yeah.
Merci. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Yes. So I would love to see other varieties of Colmanat. I have the Tuileries,
Okay.
but I know there are other ones.
Okay.
But yeah, wow, this is wonderful.
So that's one of the old greenhouses.
Will walk us through and show us what's going on here. Wow, this is
some different.
This is lovely.
Yeah.
I knew that you bred a lot of the spotting on Phalaenopsis. The French spots I think came from here, correct?
Yeah. We start with mix to grow some Phalaenopsis with very big flowers.
Yes.
You know the Phalaenopsis Henriette Le Couffle Boule de Neige. It was the first very big flower of Phalaenopsis.
Yes.
It comes from here, and with spots, it's something special too, and with stripes also. Yeah.
Well, tell us about that. Tell us about your breeding. The rest of the world wants to hear, because we've forgotten. Please remind us what you all did.
My English is not
so
good.
That's
so
okay.
I try to.
That's all right.
Say
We're just happy to hear you talk.
We are here from 1886, and at the moment we've got a very nice collection with many plants hybridate.
Right.
And we continue to make hybrids, but not so often as.
That looks like Farmerai. Is that Farmerai?
Yeah.
I grow Densiflorum and Thursiflorum as well.
This is a very nice flower.
Yes, is it fragrant? Does it smell?
At the moment, maybe.
Maybe.
Do you smell it?
Not much.
No? Yeah, a little bit.
Beautiful though.
And this is Dendrobium antenatum. That's a funny flower.
Is that the Densiflorum? Looks like Densiflorum. Oh, I have Griffithianum. I bloomed it this year. My Griffithianum was huge.
Wow.
I'll show you a picture.
This is a short one. This is funny Dendrobium rosellum.
Oh,
with small flowers. It looks like, how do you say?
See, my Google phone does pretty well with the close-up. Well, no, but it's there. Lots of dendrobiums. I have a spectabile in bud right now.
Wow.
It's like this big.
Encyclia.
Yes.
The nickname is
Prosecchia, I think.
Prosecchia or Encyclia. It changes very often.
Oh yes, I've never seen a yellow one like that. It's pretty. Fragrance,
nice,
right?
Yeah. Very nice smell. We've got many Verdophyllums, like Bulbophyllums oriental, Brachydianum, and many others.
I'm just getting a little. I love the metal curly of the building. It's such a pretty greenhouse. Oh, this is. Wow. Wow. That's. I can't get mine to bloom, but that's yeah.
Cordillera.
Yeah, Cordillera. That's the Rosia form, I think. Cordillera, the Rosia. Yeah, the other one's green. There's a green form with the red lip, and there's a Rosa with all purple. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, this is pretty too.
This is a Bulbophyllum. This one is.
Is this your hybrid? Did you guys make this?
No, it's one of our friends who's in Belgium.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that is Epicattleya
Étoile Noire.
Étoile Noire.
Right.
Let me. Étoile Noire. Okay. That looks like a Miltonia.
Aspasia.
Aspasia, okay. It's okay, yeah. Aspasia, I don't know my Aspasia, so it's fine.
Here we've got some nice Bulbophyllum.
These are some stinky ones.
Yeah.
Smelly. That's Phalaenopsis, isn't it? Yeah, it's one of them. It's one of them. It's one of them.
Smell is like the Phalaenopsis.
Right.
That one is very nice. I like this part was moving with wind.
Yes.
How do you say it? What is the name of this part in
the lip.
the
lip, the labellum.
Oh, sure.
Like I have barbigerum that also does that.
That one is very nice.
Yes.
This one is scenting very, very strong.
Yeah, it's. I've seen that in America. I've seen varieties called doggy doo,
Okay.
dog poo,
Yeah.
dog man. I started growing orchids when I was 14.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm 52 now. And I'm a science teacher.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For
12-year-olds, yes.
oh, good.
Yeah. More bulbophyllum.
Bulbophyllum.
Which one is this one? Okay.
Bulbochung. Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Oh, more smellies, yeah.
This one is nice.
Yeah, it's
lovely.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Are these, wait a minute. I have one of these, Chysis.
Yes.
Chysis, okay.
You are so good.
I bloomed mine this year. It's not very happy, but it bloomed. This is Selagenes, correct?
Yeah.
Selagenes.
Sure.
My crostata is like, not too happy. Catasetum or these Cygnoches? Catasetum, yeah. These look like Miltonia. That's Miltonia. Okay.
Those are Brachydia and mix.
Yeah, this looks like
Miltasia.
Miltasia, yes. So what airport are you near?
It is Orly.
Okay, I flew into Charles de Gaulle this morning.
Okay.
At 7.
Yeah, wow.
Is Encyclia africanus?
Yes.
Yes. They get so big.
Yeah.
That's a nice Tillandsias with the that's a Rincha. That looks like Rinchula de Biana, or is it Glauca?
I think it is Glauca.
Glauca. I've got Glauca. Glauca's pretty. So this, I have Kalihi.
Yeah.
And I was at Carter and Holmes Orchids because they're not far from me, and they sold me a Papilio Mendenhall FCC, a little piece.
Mr. Kyle's Orchids.
Hello and welcome to Mr. Kyle's Orchids. It's middle of the afternoon, a little bit after 2 p.m. It's 88 degrees, which is actually like 10 degrees cooler than it has been. I think that's about 31 Celsius. Don't have any new blooms to show you. I just have some buds maybe to look at. Not maybe, that we're going to look at. And then I'm going to show you how I amputate rotated a pseudobulb off of one of my orchids that had some fungus. But so, I'll start over here. This is out of season, but that nodosa has put out a bud. Looking forward to that. I think we've seen these before. This is a Renanthera red dragon. Each one of those is spiked. And I do have a new flower, but I just bought that yesterday at a local garden center. I'm a sucker. I'm an addict, of course, as some of you know, can understand. So I had to buy it. It's probably fragrant. Since it has nodosa in it, it's like fragrance. I'm really starting to like nodosas because they do, or even nodosa cross or Richard Mueller crosses, because they do seem to grow pretty fast. And then over here, the buds of the spotted clown are still on track. That top one looks like it's gonna bloom soon. This little friend there is gonna be right behind it. It can move out my Adicetum Taiwan Gold Orange. And then over here is Heaven's Gate. It's got a sheath. So I look forward to seeing that in the fall. Can you see it? There we go. Leonie leopard is still blooming. It's on its way out. I've seen on other people's channels. I always find it fascinating that these plants all seem to know when to bloom, because theirs are blooming too. Orchids are fascinating. And then the buds over here, this is Golden Tang, crossed with Richard Mueller. Looking forward to that. And I saw that, I believe, on Nicole Drenna's YouTube channel. And I, of course, had to get one. And then my Kyle Quintal down here we've got a random spike there. And I think there's one back there. Which is fun. This likes to bloom, so yes, go ahead and bloom. So Latoya Kyle Quintal, easy for you to say. And if you want to get one, they do like a little bit more moist than other orchids, other than like Oncidiums, but it's doing really well. Got to repot it. And then I did mess up, being a little cocky, me being a novice, learning lessons, but the sun burnt some leaves. And I burnt the Heaven's Gate early in the spring and upset about that. And then I just overestimated their sun tolerance. Well, it did get it got to 100 degrees last week, like one day, and then it was like 98, 99 for the whole week. And even the week before that was really high 90s. And the sun is very intense. And obviously those didn't like it. I mean, there's a little yellowing here, but it's not burnt. And then I burnt the sun burnt a couple Oncidiums down here. The one there in the clay pot had a spike. It got burnt. And then I have another spike over on my Vanda, actually. This little guy, Vanda Blue Charm, it was just starting to push out a spike before I brought it out. This early spring, it was still too cold to be outside. I moved it literally 6 inches. I moved it like this much, and the spike aborted. So I was hoping it would spike again after bringing it out, and it's been out here since late May. It's not July 1st, so it's been a little bit over a month, and there's that spike coming out now. So excited about that. Otherwise, nothing else over here. Let's see. Hold on. Oh, okay. Changed spots. I thought I had something else over here, but I don't. Anyway, just my kids, my orchids. Move some things around a little bit. Always changing. Anyway, I'm going to spice in the video of me amputating the pseudobulb off of my SVO orchid that had the fungus. And And that'll be it. So I guess this one doesn't like a lot of water. It is getting a new suitable right here. So yeah, that's good. And this is Candy Flare, Sunset Valley Orchid. So Mr. Kyle's Orchids, come on, let's go. Sorry, you know what I'm doing. But anyway, so I already sanitized these. So I'm just gonna cut it like right here and then add some cinnamon. And hopefully that's all I need to do. Anyway, so we're gonna try to do this one-handed. I see some. Great. Didn't anticipate that. So I'm gonna put some cinnamon on that. Got some right here. Right outside. It's gonna go in the wound. Gonna put on the roots. And then I'll sterilize my cutters again so I can use them in the future. So yeah, that was about it. Hope you guys have a great week. Stay safe and cool if you can. See you in the next video.